Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex Funk, and I want you to picture every second of your life like a gemstone, like a little diamond, that every second that goes by, one of those diamonds gets wiped off the clock. And every second of your life, you lose those little gemstones one at a time. That's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to talk about the value of time and why saying I don't have enough time is not fair to yourself or to anybody else. So number one, let's talk about the value of time. Okay, I think time is the true currency. And I know a lot of very wealthy people or successful people that feel the same way, is that time is a higher level of currency than money. And I know we've talked about this on the channel before. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but time is the true currency of life. And you have to start looking at time as if it is the true currency instead of money. Money is made up all the time. It's this fake thing that we let control our lives, when in reality, like, it's time that is slipping away. Time, you can't get time back once it goes, right? Once you get older, like, you look back and think like, oh, those were the good old days or whatever. It's because time goes. And so there's actually ways that we can manipulate time through brain waves with like flow state and some other things that you can look into, alpha and beta brain waves and all of that, to either slow it down or speed it up, depending on what kind of situation we're in. But number one, just the value of time. I need you, as you're watching this video, to look at time as the true currency of life and not money. All right, number two that I think is the most important, saying I don't have enough time, especially when it comes to you pursuing your passions or you pursuing your dream life. If you're putting all of that on the sideline, if you're putting time with family on the sideline or time with really important friends on the sideline to pursue a promotion or to go to your 9-to-5 job or to, do all these mundane things, like routine things in life, that is where I really want to challenge you to say, like, okay, how much time are you actually putting into these other things? If it's school, if it's homework, if you're like, well, I don't have enough time to, pursue this passion or to learn how to play guitar because I've got all these classes and I've got homework to do. That's where I want to challenge. How much time would it actually take if you were fully present with doing your homework, with going to your classes? Like, how much time could you put into school if you were just better at managing your time? Because a lot of times when I hear I don't have enough time, depending on who it is, but for most people, I think like, well, that person just doesn't have time management skills yet. They don't know how to time block. They don't know how to effectively prioritize their time so that the passions and the things that can be the biggest needle movers towards their dream life can be at the top. And so if you feel like you're in a trap where you don't have enough time, that's where, okay, show me your calendar, right? Show me your to-do list, show me your priorities. And if you don't have those things, well, of course, time feels like it gets lost. So I don't have enough time can often be interpreted, at least to me, as, well, that person just doesn't have time management skills, and skills are things that you can develop. So it's important to understand that money skills, time management skills, relationship skills, like how to win friends, like all of that, those are skills. You can develop these skills. But the first step is awareness and recognizing that, hey, I'm not spending time doing things I like doing. Well, that's what my last video was about. That is the first step, is identifying, well, what do you want to be doing? What are you spending your time doing? And how can you manage your time a little bit better or plan a little bit better so that you're putting more time into things that you're excited about? So that's number two, is when you're saying I don't have enough time, is that actually you saying I don't plan my time. I don't manage my priorities, because that is probably, that's probably the biggest thing. Number three is understanding the concept of duality. Okay. So in life, there will always be highs and lows. This is one of my favorite concepts, and I talk about it often. So if you've not heard me talk about this before, I think this is really important to understand. Life is made up of a series of highs and lows. Okay. You cannot have the good days without the bad days. You can't have rainy days without sunny days. You can't have hot without cold, because if there was no hot and there was just cold, it would just be. Does that make sense? If there was no rainy days, we would have no appreciation for the sunny days, because it would just be. That would just be the case. So the reason that we love really good weather is because we might understand that really cold or really bad weather is not as fun, right? The reason we might appreciate a rainy day is because we don't get them very often. And so you have to understand that the law of duality, okay? So you can look into this and do some research on this, but understand that in life, we also have this duality. And what it usually is for most people is they are choosing the good. So they're choosing the highs. And when you are saying, I don't have enough time, we all have the same amount of time. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have 7 days in a week. Everybody has the same amount of time. The most successful people in the world, the happiest people in the world, they don't get more time than you, right? So release all limiting beliefs around time because you have the same amount as everybody else. You just may not be choosing to spend that time the same way that somebody that you wish you had their lifestyle or you wish you had their success. You're probably not choosing to spend your time like they would. And the difference, what the difference usually is they are not choosing the highs. They are receiving the highs. So what this would look like in an example is someone who is very successful. They're choosing hard. They're choosing the thing that's not as fun. Example, waking up at 5 a.m. to get a workout in. I don't do that. I don't do this every day. Today I did. Got up at 5 o'clock, went to the gym, got a really good workout in, right? Got a sweat in. And there were a lot of other people there that were very, very fit. And I feel like very successful in their day-to-day life. And I say that because just looking how they carry themselves, they are waking up, choosing the hard thing, and then they've got the rest of the day. And when you've probably woken up for an early workout before, right? After that workout, how do you feel? It feels great. And then you get to ride that wave into the rest of your day. That's choosing hard, receiving the high. Well, law of duality, the opposite is true. When somebody chooses the high, they then get the hard. So you can choose hard and then receive the high, right? So choose the low, receive the high, or you could choose the high and receive the low. So what does that look like? Well, the exact example, if somebody sleeps until 8 o'clock, right? They then have to live with that all day. They then have to not be as physically fit. They then don't get the endorphins, running through their brain all day. They don't get that satisfaction. They don't get that dollar in the piggy bank of I'm a disciplined person. There's so much low that comes from choosing what feels good in the moment. A Friday night at the bar with the friends or whatever, right? What's the low that comes from that high? The bank account, right? Afterwards, how you feel the next day, that loss of productivity, decisions that may have been made when you were in that state, when you were around those people, right? So always understand with time, there's this law of duality that is really important to understand. You choose hard, you choose tough, you choose the really difficult decision, you will get the reward from that. You just have to trust it. Okay, you choose hard, you get the reward. But if you choose the high, right? If you choose pleasure, inevitably you will receive pain. Choose pain, receive pleasure. Choose pleasure, receive pain. And that is a law that has to go into your time management decisions. Okay? So that's number 3. You have to understand the law of duality. When you say, I don't have enough time, right? It is probably because you're choosing too many highs. So where in your life can you start choosing hard so you can start receiving highs on the other end? Okay. And lastly, number 4, just to wrap up, is you have to understand that time management is a skill. I talked about this earlier in the video, but like anything in life, right? You're probably not good at it right away, right? I'm trying to learn how to play piano right now. Well, breaking news, I'm not great at playing piano. Why? I haven't played piano since I was a little kid. So I think that we trick ourselves into thinking, and this is, Alex Hormozy talks about this. I think it's in a book, 12-Week Year, before he talks about it. But there's levels when you start something new. Level 1 is uninformed optimism. Okay, so we start something out. We don't know a ton about it. We don't know how long it's going to take to get good. Therefore, we are optimistic about it. So me with piano, it's like, yeah, I can't wait till I can play pieces on piano. Well, step 2, and this is like start an entrepreneurial journey, right? Step 2 is informed pessimism. Okay, so then once you learn how hard it's going to be, once you learn how difficult, how long it's going to take, most things, almost everything in life, okay, takes a longer time horizon than you think it will. So informed pessimism leads to the valley of despair. And that is where the 99% choose to give up and go right back into their old routines, their old environment, their old choices. But the valley of despair is where the law of duality comes back and we can choose hard. And that's level 4. Okay, it's seeing the other side. It's seeing it through. So when was the last time in your life that you tried something new? And did you finish it? Did you complete it? Because if you didn't, now you've started this momentum of, I'm not somebody that finishes what I start. And so I encourage you with your time management now is choose to learn something new that pushes you to get better at that skill all the way till the end. And time management can be that thing. Okay, use Google Calendar, start time blocking, watch videos on YouTube about how to properly manage your time, listen to podcasts. Rob Dyrdek has a lot of really good stuff on time management. Okay, as do a bunch of people if you just look up time management on YouTube. But it is a skill that is worth developing because you're referring back to at the very beginning of the video, every second of your life is like a gemstone that is fleeting. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I don't want anyone to take advantage or not take advantage, I should say, of the one life that we get any longer and actually go out and start living your dream life. Okay. So if time is the barrier, no longer. Okay. I've given you a few things here. Keep watching the channel, subscribe, like this video, pass it along. My website will be up soon. I'll give you some freebies that'll help you live your dream life. Thanks for watching Alex Funk YouTube. We'll see you next time.